Right, I'm here with Lina Nielsen. I always get your sister's name wrong, so I'm glad I'm here with Lina today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good,
Yeah, really
good. You look well. You look in that serene Buddha-like yoga pose, but we'll get to that. Your life seems to have transformed so much in the last 12 to 18 months, both on and off track. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about the period where you came back from injury a couple of years ago and how that prepared you for last season, what you kind of wanted from yourself last year, what you got, and I noticed there was a PB in there, so it's not all, I guess, negative. There are loads of positives. So just take me through that whole period.
Well, after the injury?
Yeah.
That was a really difficult thing, I think, because I had done so well in the indoor season, and right at the peak, for it to just crumble was physically obviously quite challenging to deal with the fracture, but then mentally as well, for it to happen the way that it did was a lot to deal with. And then I decided
because that was your first major injury, right?
Yeah, my only ever injury as
well.
Right,
there you go.
And then I decided to switch to 100-metre hurdles, which was a whole switch in itself, and then went to a coach that didn't quite work with me. It was a good coach, but didn't work with me, and then switched coaches again. So it's just been a little bit of a whirlwind. You've
been finding yourself, as it were.
Yeah. But the last season was probably good and bad for me. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the 100-metre hurdles, so I'm glad that I made that switch.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I just about believe you. Because obviously, off camera, we had a brief discussion about this, but you say the 4 is harder than the 4 hurdles, mainly because of the output of energy, I guess, the rhythmic kind of nature of the 4 hurdles as opposed to the all-out.
And the mental distraction from the lactic as well.
Right, okay, I guess.
That's the main thing, because you finish the race, you don't even realise that you've got lactic acid, because you just think, done my shower pattern, or maybe didn't do that quite well. So it's a distraction from lactic, whereas in the 400, you think, when you see the home straight, you're thinking, how am I going to get to the end? And you have to find some inner strength, whereas in the hurdles, that hurdle's telling you to find some strength.
Up it.
Yeah.
Or else.
Yeah.
You PB'd last year. I guess you PB every year, so that's normal for you. But the PB was just outside the UK standard for, I think, World Championship qualification.
Yeah.
How was that frustrating, or was that kind of just where you were, what you expected?
So when I got the PB, I think it was my 3rd race of the season,
right.
Which was really good. I started the season pretty well, and in the hurdles it's quite easy to gain half a second, especially when you're still kind of developing. So I think I knocked off 0.4 from the first race to the second race, and again for the 3rd race. So I thought, it's so close, I might get it. But then I had races in Finland where it was so cold and super windy. And then
and raining.
Yeah, and I did a race in Sweden. I think it was my last race before the trials, and I had come second, and everyone that I had beaten had run 55 seconds that season, and I thought, and it was 13 degrees. It was so cold. I remember looking at one of the American athletes, and she was stood there chattering her teeth, it was so cold. And then I thought, it's so close. I literally have beaten girls that have run quicker than me. I ran 57 in that race because it was just so cold. So it was always around the corner, but yeah, it was kind of frustrating to not dip below that kind of mark. But it was good that I had developed anyway, and that I had PB'd, so I was quite happy with the time in that respect. So
were you happy with the rest of the season and how it went? Or, obviously you were unfortunate with certain races and I guess qualifying for that ultimate showcase. But in terms of how the season went, were you happy?
To be fair, looking back at it now, now that I've let it settle a little
This is why we speak to athletes now, because,
because I gained so much valuable experience through the season. I think I started one race at Lee Valley, my first race. No one was in the race. I was basically a time trial. And then, the peak of my season was racing, the world silver medalists. I raced in the McLaughlin. So I had that kind of experience in that respect.
Right.
I got to basically compete with the best in the world. And I wouldn't have done that last year. So, I think that was, looking back at it now, I think, that was sick that I got a chance to do that, and that I was good enough to even be put on that list for that race. So looking back, I'm actually quite happy with how I've developed in the season. And then the trials happened.
They did. In a word.
Yeah, really bad.
Okay, we'll leave that where that was, isn't it? The results are what they are. Did you watch the World Championships? Did you watch your race, your event?
A chance.
What? And that was a great race, the final.
What, the 4 hurdles?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? I really wanted to watch because my sister was competing on
course.
I had no Wi-Fi when I was in India.
You was in that kind of zone, yeah?
Yeah, so I had to end up phoning my friend, FaceTime my friend, and I was like, can you show me her race? And it was, like, even FaceTime was really bad.
Right.
So I ended up watching her race through a series of GIFs on WhatsApp. That's how I managed to watch her race.
Cool, you're committed though,
it
right?
was like 6-second GIFs, and it was like 10 of them watching her race bit by bit. That's how I managed to watch her race.
But that's brilliant, though. The fact that you got it in the end is great. But now you've obviously seen the four. I mean, looking at where you are and, you know, the elite level, what does that do for your mindset? What does that do for Lina Nielsen's mindset? I know it do for mine.
What, watching the 4 hurdles?
Yeah, just I'm watching the times that those girls are running, what they're putting down, the standard.
Yeah. Even like when we look at women's world records, like we think, oh my god, like they're never going to be beaten, like they were set 30, 40 years ago. So to see like people like Jaleel Mohammed and then Cindy McLaughlin, they both broke what would have been the world record last year.
Amazing race.
Yeah, so it's like they've shown that it's possible, and like when I look at my time and I think, oh god, I've got to gain a second next year. They did something that people thought was not going to be possible. So I think, you know what, if they've done it, they've found some extra stride somewhere, and they've managed to perform at like a really good level. Like then it kind of gives you inspiration, especially because it's in your event, and you think. Because in the 4 hurdles, I think when you're stuck with one stride pattern, you think, okay, like what am I going to do to improve? Whereas they found their way, so it's kind of nice to see what they're doing. And like,
so if you can see it, you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear that. So the season ends. You're in India. Well, the season ended a bit earlier for you, but you're in India, enjoying your gifts as they come in. What was you doing there? Was it a straight up holiday, or was you on a fact finding mission?
I don't even know what it was. After the trials, it was like, not a very good place. And I did want to go away, and it would have been the first time I had gone away by myself. And I was looking at places in Europe and stuff. And then I remember talking to someone like early in the year, and they spoke about like how doing their yoga training was like the most amazing experience, and it was like a rite of passage. Then I was like, I'm awake at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like looking at places to go, and it popped into my head like conversation that I had, and I was like, right, let me see if I can do this and go to India. And then I booked it at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like,
wow! So on a
whim after the trials, like forget I'm going now.
That's on a whim then.
Yeah, it was an impulse decision.
Have you ever done anything like that before?
Nope.
So how did it serve you?
Just booking the flight was like an empowering move.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I guess once you start that process of empowerment, it becomes easier to make the next decision, right? So
like every series of that trip was like power building. It was like booking it and then telling my sister that I was going to go, and then telling my mum that I was going to go halfway across the world by myself. She was like freaking out. And then boarding the plane for a long haul flight by myself. Yeah, every single step of that trip was an experience.
I don't think people really understand how close you and your sister are. We do, because we've, I say we, my cameraman and I, because we've seen it, firsthand pretty much since she came into the sport. So we get how much of a big thing that is, but just so people can kind of comprehend. When was the last time you spent any extended amount of time away from this?
For India?
Yeah.
She went to Florida for a training camp. That was a month. So that was in 2017.
So not even that long ago, really.
Yeah. And before that, it was like 2 weeks. So she went to the World Juniors, and I was here. And then before that was like a week, maybe. 5 days. Yeah. So
that's amazing. So that just to kind of put in perspective what you were undertaking. What was your first week like?
What, in India? I was so scared. First, I went to Delhi. I went to Delhi first, and it's a huge city, 25 million people, and I had no idea like where anything was. Like even trying to get to my hotel, I was like, oh,
you threw yourself in, didn't you?
I was like, what am I doing here? And then like it was just everywhere you went was like busy, so busy, and like that was like I was really scared because like usually I have like a friend or my mum or my sister. And I didn't have anyone to turn to, like I didn't really know anyone who had been to India before. So actually I was messaging Shona Richard,
right?
Because she had been to the exact same place I went, and I was like, give me tips on India because I have no idea what I'm doing. She gave me really good advice, and so yeah, that part of the trip was like, yeah, this is really, really scary.
Right.
And then again, I gained a lot.
So it got easier as you went along. Yeah. So what was the first most significant thing that impacted on you out there?
Seeing the Taj Mahal,
right?
Which was like beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to see like the 7 wonders of the world. I've seen the pyramids, obviously, the Egyptians.
Of course.
Done that, and then I wanted to see Taj Mahal. Yeah, it was really good.
So you was there a month, right? That's a long time for someone just to go on a whim on your own. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah.
But did it seem like a long time? And what did you learn? Because obviously you embarked on the whole yoga experience, and I guess that was semi-planned.
Yeah.
What did you take from that? And did it seem like a long time out there?
No, yeah. So when I booked it, like, I was looking at different yoga schools, ashrams, and there were like different lengths of programs, like a 14-day, was like super intense, because you have to do a minimum of 200 hours if you're going to be a yoga teacher.
Right.
So I was looking at different programs, like 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, you can extend it to like 40 days. So I was looking at like different ones, and I was like, I don't really want to do an intensive program, so that 14 day was out the window. And then I found, like, I was looking at reviews so much, and then I found one, but they didn't specify like the timetable of the whole 28 days. So I found it, I was like, 28 days seemed like a good time. Like, I need a month off anyway, because my last race was the City Games. And I was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I want to be there for a month, be in the heat for a month. And then when I finished exploring Delhi and places like that, I went further up north in India to a place called Rishikesh, which is beautiful. I'm going to go back next year.
Okay.
And yeah, I went to the yoga school, and then they gave us the timetable, and I was like, wow, this is going to be intense.
Right. No off season for you.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, because it was literally like 6 a.m. wake up, and then 9 p.m. bedtime. So I was like,
13-hour days.
Oh my goodness. So I was like, literally, after the whole being scared of Delhi, I was like even more scared for this like intense yoga school program. But yeah, the first week dragged for sure, and then the next 3 weeks went like that. And before I knew it, I was in Sudan. I was like, what? Where's the time gone?
I should have asked this question already. Did you get Delhi belly?
No, I didn't. Someone told me to avoid meat. I was like, yeah, I'm going to avoid the meat, and obviously water I'll have, and I didn't get any problems.
Okay, well, good advice for anybody else going over there. Say, I had to avoid Delhi belly. No meat. I'll be all right then. I don't eat meat. So is that easy for you to just drop out the meat, or are you a carnivore at heart?
Yeah, so I never eat red meat anyway.
Right.
And like, I mostly eat fish, and then so it wasn't a hard thing to do. But the hardest thing to do was to cut out coffee.
No doubt. Now, listen, if you follow Lina Nielsen on any platform, you will see how much her life is devoted to coffee.
Yeah.
All the little fancy shapes in the top. You love it all, don't you?
Yeah.
Where did that love come from? And we'll get back to the whole yoga thing, but where did that love of coffee come from? And when they told you had to cut it out, or did you know that before you went? How did you feel?
Right,
okay.
On the description of the yoga school, they did say that it was going to be like detoxing meals and drinks and things, and I was like, okay, cool. But I didn't think that included lack of caffeine. So when I got there, I was like, okay, what have I signed myself up for? A lot of it was like, what have I signed myself up for?
Yeah.
But the love of coffee came from my mum. She's part Egyptian, part Sudanese. And in Sudan, the coffee is a very big culture. Like, when guests come around, they brew this really, really strong black coffee. Really, like, it's almost like Turkish coffee, like really thick.
I can see the smile broadening on your face. Like,
like reminiscent of childhood. So when the guests came around, like, she'd always make this coffee, and it would fill the house with this like gorgeous smell.
Right.
But we were never allowed to have it. Like, never. But I always say, Mum, can I just try it? And I remember, like, when I was about 15, that's when she said, okay, like, you can try this now. So I think I had my first about 15. Hated it. I was like, why is this liquid? Like, the people can't, like, she made it so strong, no sugar, black, and I remember hating it at first, but I always loved the smell. And then when I started doing my A levels, late nights and things, then I
student life,
like caramel lattes with one shot, and then eventually like worked my way down to like now I just drink it black, no sugar, no milk. Yeah, but
that's where Mike is. That's where cameraman Mike is black. So you're a bit of a coffee snob then. So can you tell your Arabica from can you tell your beans?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Gosh, where's your best coffee from? And without obviously where you're from being an option. Where have you tasted the best coffee?
There's no like Sudanese coffee. They import coffee from
Ethiopia. Yeah.
But my favourite.
Doesn't half the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think East Africa make the best coffee.
Yeah.
My favourite coffee would be a Kenyan bean.
Okay.
Specifically a Kenyan Katina pea berry bean.
See, specifically. Can you say that again, please, for those who don't want to go rewind?
Kenyan Katina pea berry. I sound like such a snob.
No, listen, I love it though.
I used to work as a barista, so I know a lot about coffee. And
You've got inside information.
Yeah, and I worked in this really great shop where they like taught us every month like the bean of the month and where it comes from and how they brew it and what's the so like it was actually really, really good fun like working there. And we one time I remember trying this bean called the Kenyan Katina pea berry, and I just remember it being like this explosion of flavour in this one cup, and like rule of thumb is that the bigger the bean, the more flavourful it is. And I remember it being like your normal coffee bean's really tiny, and I remember it being this like almost like a cherry, like it was really huge, and like that's when I was like, yeah, this is my favourite coffee.
This is my coffee. I found my lane. You kind of mentioned a post-track career as a, help me, yogi?
A yoga teacher.
Yoga teacher. I just wanted to make it sound a bit better. So yoga teacher. But clearly there's a road or a lane for you, track and field. As a coffee taster, finding
I've always wanted to open up a coffee shop, so I might just do this thing that's like half yoga studio, half coffee shop. Might be in London, anything can work.
It can definitely work. People can need a coffee before they go to work, but after the yoga. So you're 4 weeks into this course. The last couple of weeks fly by. You're really enjoying yourself. Talk about your growth. What you took from that whole experience.
Yeah, so a lot of it was, a lot of yoga was being within yourself.
Yeah.
Don't mean to sound too hippie, but...
No, sound hippie. I like all that.
Yeah,
we like all this around it,
yeah. Finding inner self, finding that mind-body awareness. So a lot of it, like, I was faced with my own thoughts and feelings and thoughts that I had suppressed for a very long time were coming to the surface. Like, it was crazy. Like, we were doing meditation and, like, we did different pranayama techniques, which is breathing techniques, and they all kind of activated chakras and things like that, which I was skeptical at first. I was like, I don't really know this stuff. Like, I just want to do the asanas, which is the poses. And I was like, I just want to do that. Like, I don't want to do this meditation stuff. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give in and do it. And
throw yourself in.
Yeah, and I was sat there meditating. We were doing like different breathing techniques, like something called the fire breath, which was designed to kind of get anger out. And that was the one that really sat with me, because doing like that fire breath pranayama meditation session was like facing thoughts that I had suppressed for a very long time and letting that come to the surface, and dealing with kind of my insecurities and confidence issues as well. So yeah, it was a very eye-opening experience, that was. And then I think the most confidence building thing was teaching a class, like my first ever class in India, and it was like everyone who was there was like a self-proclaimed yogi. So it was like suddenly I had to teach these people who know their stuff. And I literally have just learned this stuff. So it was like, that was I remember shaking before I did it, because I was doing it to about 30 people from like different parts of the world. And they brought in like this teacher who knew everything about yoga, like everything you need to know. And he was like assessing us, and I was like, oh my God, like he's gonna know if I do something wrong. And that was like a big confidence builder, because like seeing everyone kind of just follow what you were telling them to do and like instructing them to do. That was a massive confidence builder for me, and like obviously getting in front of people and doing that. So like there were so many different things in that experience that kind of helped me address certain issues within myself, but also building confidence, which when I left I was like this different person.
Love that.
Experience it.
Growth, change. So I guess you flew from there straight to Africa, right? I mean, to Africa's a doddle, isn't it? By the time you got there, you.
Yeah, but what? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I'm in myself. This is all good. Talk about that African experience, because I also tuned into your stories, your Instagram stories then, and there was a couple of different things that kind of struck me. You met one of your GB teammates out there. Rafa. That was nice to see. Love to see that, you guys linking up in the motherland. That was great. And there was a blackout, and a lot of stuff was happening. Talk about that whole part of your holiday.
Yeah, so I remember saying to Lavia, I was like, we have to go see Grandma. Like, we had to go see her. I hadn't seen her since we were 14, so this is like 9 years now.
Right.
And she said that she was going to have a break after Doha because it was such a long season. And I was like, okay, this is in India. Like, I booked one of my tickets to India because I kind of wanted to go somewhere else in Asia afterwards. And then this was after, like, I think her heat or something. I was like, how about this year we go to Sudan and go see our family? So we booked we booked our respective flights to land at the same time, which we did. She landed at like 11:30 at night. I landed at 11:45. So it was good that was a nice reunion.
Back in sync.
Yeah. And my mum managed to get to the airside, so she was like right there when the plane landed. It was really nice.
Beautiful.
It was like a movie scene. And it was really nice. Like, the first thing we did was obviously go see our aunties and grandma and things like that. And then, when it was, because we landed in night time, when it was daytime, we were like, oh my God, it's really hot. It was like 40 degrees, which I haven't experienced in a long time. And yeah, we were kind of struck by, again, how developing this country is. Yeah.
A lot of negative headlines emanating out of that country, and one of the things that that's one of the things that you were highlighting. This is the Sudan that they don't show.
Yeah, the Sudanese revolution. So we had a plan. So I took my camera out. We had a plan to like film a lot of things that were happening, but it had died down by that point.
Right.
So we did see a few marches of people kind of protesting about smaller issues like higher pay and things like that. But the main thing that we saw was how different people's attitude was. So when we were 14, that was when we were slightly old enough to start wearing hijabs and headscarves and covering our hair because it's an Islamic country. So when I got off the plane, I quickly, when I got off the plane, put a headscarf on because I was like, let's be respectful of this country. And then my mum looked at me, so it's like, what are you doing? Like, take that off. I was like, what? And then that's when she was like, no, this country's changed. And I remember when I was 14, I got told off for wearing jeans. Women weren't allowed to wear trousers. And so when I landed, I was wearing a long skirt. And again, she was like, no, you can wear whatever you want. So it was really weird to see like how different it had changed. Like a lot of the Sudanese revolution was run by young women. And I don't know if many people saw that woman in the white protesting on top of the car. She was like a massive player in the protest.
Right.
She was 21, so really young, and she was a woman, which was like really crazy. She was like the face of the protest. So like all these women gathered around from the country, and obviously across the world as well, women were starting to join in these protests, and they were starting to like literally wear the trousers, physically and metaphorically. So yeah, it was a lot more relaxed than we were when we were 14, and that was like one of the major things that we experienced, and like we were really proud to be from that country. Whereas before we'd always say we're Egyptian, we're Danish, but we never would say that we're Sudanese as well. And then when we kind of left there, we were like, we've got to like start being proud of like being from Sudan, and yeah.
You sound like your off season was one of replenishment.
Yeah.
You know, you really gleaned and garnered a lot from it. So I guess the natural question is, how does that move you forward? I know you've got aspirations to teach yoga. Can you pursue both in an Olympic year? I mean, I don't want to limit nobody. That's not what we do over here. Everyone can do anything they want to do. But talk to me about that challenge.
Yeah, I've always worked alongside track. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, because on the other day I put on my Instagram story that I think I put 7 a.m. wake up, 9 a.m. track, and then 12 p.m. work, and a lot of people were messaging me going, oh, you work? And I was like, yeah, I work. I live in London, I've got to work. So I don't think a lot of people knew that I actually have been part-time working this whole time. After university, I've been part-time working. So I think it is possible, and it would be a lot easier, because before I was working like 6-7 hour shifts, whereas now I can do an hour class, and that will be my day. So I do think, I definitely want to, and also like teaching gives me such a sense of confidence, and like seeing that I've changed someone's day is really nice. Like seeing people leave the class like I feel really good, like that makes me feel good. So I definitely want to keep continuing it, and also it kind of forces me to practice when I'm teaching. Whereas like when I'm at home, I'll just sit on the sofa and watch Netflix. So you can stay in shape at the same time. So has that helped in any way? It has, So when I did my first session with my coach, he was like, right, let's see how much fitness you've lost, because it was 7 weeks off, 6-7 weeks. And he was like, right, let's see. And then I used to have a lot of imbalances when I was running last year. So like one hip would be hiked, and this leg would be internally rotating, and we'd always have to fix something. And then I did like my first few sessions. The first session was a bit like, okay, well, you haven't trained, so let's just. Then the second, third, fourth session, he was like trying to find the usual imbalances that you see in my body. And he was like, you look really aligned, like what's going on? I was like, yoga. I'm trying to like teach my group to do like yoga, like they're all guys. How's that going down? Yeah, they don't want to do it. Slowly adopted. A lot of people think it's all hippy dippy stuff. It's not. Like and a lot of people think, oh, it's just stretching. They'll get there. It's not. Like I really want to educate a bit more with athletes, because I'm gonna. No, yeah. Well, I mean, go there. Go there now. Every football club in this country has a designated yoga team. They do now. Yeah. Do you know one of the first to do that? No. I think it was your club, wasn't it? Man United. Yeah, I think Ryan Giggs was one of the first. Yeah, Ryan Giggs was huge. To really support that whole movement. So every football club has and they do it like once a week, like minimum. So like they see the importance. People like Victoria Pendleton, who's an Olympic champion multiple times. She always says yoga, and she's a bit more on the meditation side. She says how amazing and beneficial it is. And there's so many athletes, like even within track and field, Jessica Ennis-Hill, who I spoke to like the other day, she was like, yeah, I did yoga all the way up until 2012. And I was like, like, this is crazy. And Cindy McLaughlin also avid yogi. So there's so many athletes out there who know the benefits of yoga, and I really just want to take away from the fact that it's not all hippy dippy stuff. It's not
all stretching.
But no, it's literally, if we're looking at like the physiological level, it's the main part. I think the main benefit of yoga is the fascial movement. So the thing that wraps around your muscles, that often gets neglected unless you're getting soft tissue every day. A lot of the time you're letting it stiffen up. So like yoga is one of the ways to release fascial tension.
So I didn't even know. I just learned something.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
That's like one. That's just one of like 1,000 benefits that you can get from yoga. So yeah, I really want to educate on that.
You want to school and educate.
What's the original question?
It was all about teaching actually, and then we moved into how it's benefited.
Yeah, my training.
Yeah.
So then I saw my osteopath. So I see my osteopath like every other week without fail. Since my fracture, I started seeing him because of my fracture.
Okay.
And he also checks bone balances, and like there's always that one thing that's always gone wrong, like your foot's a bit out of place. And he was like, so this is after about 2 weeks of training now, so I went to go see him, and I hadn't seen him since before the trials. And he was like, so I have one leg that's usually been jammed into the hip, so like one leg always seems shorter than the other.
Right.
And he's like, okay, like you're aligned, like what's going on? And then he was like, he does this test where I think a lot of athletes do it, you fall forward. Then he checks like your spine alignment, hip alignment, and he was like, everything's really good, like what have you been doing? And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't tell you, I went to India for a month and did yoga. And he was like, really good. And every time I've seen him since then, it's like there's literally nothing wrong with me.
It works.
So, like obviously, like in the training aspect and like my body, it's clearly doing wonders, and physically I feel really good. Like to be more aligned, I feel like I'm attacking the floor a bit better and things like that. But mentally, I can't even begin to tell you like the wonders that it's worked. Like we talk a lot about this mind-body awareness, and I'll talk a little bit about that. It's like in yoga we do one breath per movement, so it's like inhale, like come up, and exhale, then you fold, kind of thing. So it's like you link your breath, so you have to be conscious of your breath when you're moving. So because you have to focus on this one thing, while your body is moving, it's kind of like there's this connection that forms between your awareness of your body and how your body feels in certain stages. So obviously on the inhale, your body tenses a little bit, and on the exhale, everything relaxes. So then you can kind of feel the difference between the inhale move and the exhale move. So I did find that like when I was in the gym and my coach would say, okay, Lina, like square your hips. Like before, when you say that, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like my hips feel squared. Like what's he on about? Whereas now it's like he'll say square my hips, and then straight away I know exactly what to do, where to move my body in space, and proprioception's increased quite a lot, and stability, and like so many benefits that I've gained from yoga. It's like incredible. So training's going really well if anybody asks.
I see you're doing classes. For those who want to find out more, maybe want to attend one of your classes, where are you doing?
So I always, every week, will put my class schedule on, and it will say my highlights on my page. So I put that every week, and there will always be a free space. Like if anybody wants to try, I actually had a four-hurdler come to my class the other day.
It's working.
Yeah, she's like she does it as a hobby. She's not like it. Yeah, but she came to my class, and she really loved it. And it's always nice when someone leaves a class and go, I'm going to do a bit more. And like that's my job, is to kind of just teach people about yoga.
Introduce.
So yeah, if you want to try one of my classes, go on my highlights and just pick a class that you want to do, and I'll always find your space.
Very quickly then, next year, with all this yoga in your body, and I'm conscious we're going to speak to you throughout the season, so I'm not going to ask too many times. But how do you hope it to go? What's the goal?
The goal, I think, well, it's Olympic year, and I think that's been my aim since 2012, is to make an Olympic game. So that will definitely be my goal and my aim, and whatever steps I choose to take to get there, it will be like my small goals along the way. So I've got a goal for my stride pattern that I want to achieve next year, and the hurdles, a time that I want to achieve for the 400 as well, and a time target as well. I want to break that 56-second barrier, obviously, in the 4 hurdles. And I say that with confidence, whereas last year I was like, oh, I don't know, but that's my goal, is to break 56 seconds.
I like the way you speak. Okay, well, good luck with everything. Yeah, no, it's work in progress. So good luck with everything. Like I said, we'll be along the journey, so we'll see it all unfold. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.